Hey everybody, this is Hunt with Network People. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to join a Microsoft team as a guest. So in this scenario, you already belong to a team for your organization and you're being asked to collaborate with another organization and they've sent you an invitation to join their team system as a guest. So I'm going to walk you through what that looks like. So what will happen after you click on the link to get into their teams, their system will then check the authentication that they need. And what that means is some systems require what's called multi-factor authentication. And that's when you need to sign in with your email and password, and you need to use something like your phone to say, okay, I approve that login as a second factor or a multi-factor. So two-factor authentication, or 2FA, is a very good thing for security. Recommend it for all your accounts. So in this scenario, we're assuming that the team you're joining as a guest is going to require multi-factor authentication, which means you're going to need to install the Microsoft Authenticator app. And I'm going to walk you through that process. After you install the app and establish it with your account, then you'll be able to get into that guest team. Now, if you already have the Authenticator, I'll walk you through how to use that as well to just add this account to your list of accounts on the Authenticator. So with that, let's get going. So the example we're going to use today is Patty has been asked to help out her friends at the Dysautonomia project. And that's a team that needs her help with collaboration. And we're going to be joining the Network People team to work on this project for the Dysautonomia folks. So what Patty needs to do is join the Network People team as a guest. And I'm going to walk you through that process. So if we go to her email, we'll notice that she has an email here from Adele. And it's saying, hey, thanks for helping out on our project, Patty. And it says, Teams request invite is on the way. So if we also look in here, we'll see that there's an email from Microsoft Teams, and it's saying that you've been added as a guest to the Network People Inc. team. Now, in your case, whatever your company that you're joining, that name will be here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to click on that invitation and join the team. And when you open up the email with the invitation, it'll tell you what team you're going to be joining. And in this case, we'll be joining the Pub Tree TDP team. So what you want to do is click on the Open Microsoft Teams link that will be in the invitation. And the next thing you'll see is that it'll pop up a screen that says Review Permissions. And what that means is that in this example, Patty is part of the Contoso company, and it's saying that the company she's about to join as a team, in this example, Network People, again, it'll be whatever company you're joining, needs to access some of her information here to make sure it's okay to let her into the system. So because this is one Microsoft team checking on another Microsoft team, it's perfectly okay to do that. So what you want to do is go ahead and click on the accept. So the next screen that comes up is going to check on whether you have Teams or not. So if you already have Teams installed, you'll probably get this message up here that's showing up at the top. If you don't have Teams installed, you may not see that message, but that's okay. You've got another option to download and install the app if you don't have it. You'll see there's a button for downloading the Windows app. I strongly recommend that you install Microsoft Teams if you don't have it as an application, because the experience is going to be a lot better. But if you choose not to do the app, you do have the option of using the web app instead. Now back to our original discussion up at the top. If you do have Teams already installed and you have this option, I strongly recommend you do that. So that's what we're going to do in this case. We're going to click on this checkbox to say always open Teams automatically, and we're going to click open. Now the next thing you should see once you get into Teams is it's asking you if you want to switch to the Network People Inc. group. Now remember, in your case, it'll be whatever team you're joining. Now here's a key point. Sometimes you may not see the question that says want to switch to Network People, or in your case, want to switch to whatever team you're joining. If that happens, what you need to do is log out of Teams, go back to email, find the original request to join this group as a guest, click on the link to join, and this time when you get back into Teams, you should see this message show up. So basically, again, this is a good sign. It means we're heading towards where we want to log in. So let's go ahead and click yes. So the next thing is it's going to ask you to sign in again. This is pretty common, and what you're doing is signing in with your normal Teams email and password. Let's type in the password. Now, the next screen that pops up here says more information is required. So here's the key point. Anytime you see a message that says more information required, that means that Microsoft is requiring two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication to sign into that account. So that means it's secure, and that's a good thing. So as expected, we're going to need to install the app. So I'm going to walk you through that process now. So what you want to do is go ahead and click on Next. And here it says start by getting the app. On your phone, install the Microsoft Authenticator app. Download now. After you install the Microsoft Authenticator app on your device, choose Next. Now here are a couple of key points about installing the Microsoft Authenticator app. The first one is when you're prompted to allow access to the camera during this process, definitely accept that. You'll be asked if you want to turn on notifications. You definitely want to approve turning on notifications when you're prompted for that. So what we're going to do now is pause on the PC screen, and we're going to walk you through how to get the app on your phone. What you need to do now is go to the App Store if it's Apple, or the Play Store if it's Google. In these example screens, we'll be dealing with the App Store. So go ahead and load the App Store on your phone, and on the bottom right, you'll notice the search icon. Go ahead and click on that. That will then bring up the search dialog box up at the top, and when you get to that top, you then want to say, okay, start typing in and search for Microsoft Authenticator. And as you type it, options will show up, and after a while you'll see Microsoft Authenticator on the list as indicated here. Once you see that, just go ahead and click on it. Now when searching for the Microsoft Authenticator app in the App Store, be careful that you actually download the app from Microsoft. Some guys are putting up apps that look like Microsoft, but it's not. It just says Authenticator, but it has a blue icon. Like in this example, the one at the bottom is not Microsoft, but you notice it still looks like Microsoft if you're not paying attention. So just be careful when you download the app that it's actually from Microsoft. The next thing that'll come up is you'll see that there's the Microsoft Authenticator. Make sure it says Microsoft. Make sure you see that blue lock with the blue head of a person inside of it. That's the correct app. So let's go ahead and hit Get on the Microsoft Authenticator app. Then you want to click on Install. You might need to sign in. And once it's downloaded, it'll say Open, so go ahead and open it. And when you get to this screen, now again, this is for people that are just installing the app for the first time, you want to pick Work or School Account. Okay, and after you do that, just hold on for a minute. So now I'm going to talk to the folks that already have the Authenticator app. So go ahead and bring up the Microsoft Authenticator app that you've already loaded in the past. And when you do, you should see a list of accounts that you've already installed. In this example, Christy Klein has an account installed. So to add this new account that we're joining as a guest, you want to hit on the plus sign on the top right of the screen. So click that plus sign. You should be on a screen like this at this point. We are joining an organization as a guest, so you want to click on Work or School Account. Now, if you're installing the app for the first time, you'll have to agree to the privacy settings, so go ahead and agree to that. Now, for those loading the app for the first time, this is the screen you'll see. Don't hit it yet, but you're going to want to hit on the Scan a QR code. For those that already have the app, that option of Scan a QR code will pop up in a different window, but it's the same message. Okay, now we're ready for the next step, so everybody go ahead and click on the Scan a QR code. Now, if this is the first time you're installing the app, you'll need to give it permission to access your camera, so go ahead and say OK. And at this point, you should now have what looks like sort of a camera screen on your phone. And that's the Authenticator app getting ready to scan a QR code. Let's go back to the PC screen. So now that we have the app installed and we're ready to scan a QR code, go ahead and hit Next. And here it's saying, if prompted, allow notifications. So look for that, and when the time comes, definitely allow that if you haven't already done that. So now when we hit Next, it's going to show the QR code, and we're going to want to scan that QR code with the phone. When that happens, you'll aim your camera at the QR code. It looks something like this on the screen here. And if this is the first time that you are using the app, it'll ask you to allow notifications. You definitely want to say allow. And once you finish scanning in the QR code, you should see the name of the account show up on your list like it shows on the screen here. So let's go ahead and walk through that process live. All right, so we're going to hit Next. Up comes the QR code. Let's go ahead and scan it. It should show you the account on your list of your phone. Go ahead and click on Next. And now on your phone, it's going to say Approve Sign-In, and you click on the Approve button on your phone. and then it should say approved, and then you should see what we see on the screen here, which is notification approved, which is great. So now it's going to test it. So let's hit next. Now it says Microsoft Authenticator app was successfully registered. Now when you see this message saying that you've successfully registered the Microsoft Authenticator app, that's a big step through this process. So take a breath, well done, and we'll move on to the next steps. And now it says you have successfully set up your security info, choose done. So now we're going to hit done. So now it shows that we're joining Network People Inc. In your case, it'll be joining whatever organization you're joining. And what should now show up is the team that you are going to join as a guest. If you get to this point, it means you've successfully completed. Now, we got a couple things more to go over, but this is where you want to get to. So in this particular case, we are now in, if you look on the left-hand side, the PubTree TDP group, which is what we were trying to join. TDP in this example stands for the Dysautonomia Project. Now, if you're not seeing the teams on the left, go ahead and click on the icon of teams, and you should see it here. And in the middle, you can see here's all the stuff for the team that we've just joined to work on this project. Now, in this particular case, they put in this big welcome to the guest channel. You'll just see whatever's in that particular group when you join. So at the top right will be the name of the organization you just joined. In this case, it's Network People. All right, so when you see this show up, it means that you have now successfully joined that team as a guest. Okay, so now that you're successfully into that team, I'm going to show you how you can switch from the guest team that you're in back to your main team. And it's actually quite easy once you've gotten through the process of setting up your authenticator and logging in. And ultimately, you may need to sign in again once in a while, but in general, it'll let you go back and forth between each team. When you click on the top right where the company name is, you'll have a choice to go to your company, and then from your company, you can then go right back to the guest team. So let's go ahead and walk through how to do that. So you take your mouse and you go up to the top where the company name is that you just joined, where it says Network People. In your case, it'll be whatever team you just joined. When you click on that, it'll show you the list of all the accounts you have access to. And here's Patty. Her main company is Contoso. And the guest one we just joined is right here. So your guest company will be here and it'll have the word guest. So all you got to do to get back to your main team is go ahead and click on the name of your main company. So I'm going to click on Contoso for Patty. So you notice down here, we're now going to the main site, Contoso. And now up at the top, you can see the main company name here, and you can see Patty's in her main team. And she can work as she normally will here. Now, if she clicks on this link here, again, you'll see the choices. And now to go back to Network People, she can do that later in the day or even later in the week, and it'll probably automatically log her in. But let's go ahead and click on that. And now we see it's going to the other company, in this case, Network People. And now we're back at the guest account that quickly. Now this is another really cool thing about Teams. Now that you've joined as a guest, you can switch back and forth between the guest account and your main Teams account very easily. Okay, at this point you should be all set as a guest of the new team. If you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Network People. Thanks and have a great day.